Welcome to the Be Yourself podcast.
Be yourself, be yourself, be yourself.
In control. Brought to you from the hallways of Panther Lake Elementary School with your hosts, Mr. Baker,
Music,
and Miss Lee. Kindergarten!
Never give up, never surrender.
I forgot we have to do an introduction now. Welcome to the Be Yourself podcast. Oh,
Oh,
no, it's playing again.
Oh, and Baker ruins
That
the
didn't
intro.
But guess what?
We're on our third episode.
Be yourself. Get over it.
Okay, so we're on our third episode, and we're really stoked because we have a very special guest.
But I'm Mr. Baker.
And I'm Miss Lee.
And we're interviewing our special friend from 5th grade.
Ms Kramer, that's me.
Yay!
Ms. Kramer.
So we're so
Did
stoked.
It's the middle of conferences, and we all have breaks at the same time. So here we are,
Yay!
recording a podcast during conferences.
This is what teachers do on downtime.
This
Yeah.
This
is
is teacher
it.
downtime right
Yep.
here.
I don't have anything else
You
to
go
do.
home and early release. This is what we do.
And we have no other work to accomplish right now.
No.
All right, should we start or should we...
Let's ask our questions because we do have conferences and we only have so much time.
Ask me no questions, tell me no lies.
Whoa,
I'm gonna ask
she's
you.
too intense
What?
as an interviewee.
Sorry.
What have we gotten ourselves into?
I know. All right. Our first question is, remember, the setup of this is our classic beginning questions, and then we'll go to rapid fire, which are random questions that Ms. Kramer has no idea about.
I tried to find
And-
out. Miss Lee would not tell me.
I know. She tried it when you were not here.
Rude.
She's like, you're not going to give me one? I
Well,
said,
that's
no.
against the rules. And
know.
if you would have gotten those ones, I would have pulled out the backup questions.
Oh, I don't want those.
All right. So your first question is, where did you grow up?
I grew up in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Go Eagles.
Yeah, Super Bowl champs. We're just going to ignore Super Bowl 53 because that was trash. 52 is where it's at.
All right. Do you have any siblings? Did you grow up with any siblings?
I did. I grew up with one, my younger brother. His name's Alex, and he's a big old dum-dum. I tell my kids that all the time.
And is he still in Philly?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's like,
Live
I'm
and
never
die.
leaving the city. You left the city. I'm never leaving the city. Like, all right.
Live and die, Philly.
Yeah.
So he really likes Philly, is what you're saying.
He does. He has multiple tattoos of the Sixers, the Flyers, the Eagles, and the Phillies.
Those are sports teams from the Philadelphia greater metro
He actually
area.
has on his hand tattooed 1776. And somebody asked him
way.
why, and he goes, "It's a big year."
That's so funny.
It's a pretty good year. So you left Philly.
I did.
Why did you leave Philly? What brings you to Panther Lake?
Well, I was kind of done with Philly, and Philly was kind of done with me, and so I just said, where do I want to go next? So I opted for Seattle, and this was as close as I could get without having any Washington teaching experience. So we'll see where I go in future years, but for now, here I am.
How did you pick Seattle?
I just liked it
Oh, had you visited?
once.
Oh my god, you're just like, I'm going across the country. I'm
pretty
doing
much.
it.
Pretty much.
What I just realized, I'm the only person in the room who grew up here.
Oh my gosh, so cool.
Wow.
Go Lutes. Pew
I'm-
you.
I am cool. I did not bring that up myself. Miss Lee did. Thank you, Miss Lee, for recognizing that.
Okay,
So-
our next question is, how long have you been teaching?
So, in a classroom full time, this will be year 5. Subbing, this will be I started in 2012, so 19 minus 12.
7.
Hold on. Don't tell her. Make her do the math. 19 minus 12, go.
18, 17, 16, 15,
Oh my
14,
gosh,
13, 12.
fingers again.
7.
Baker used fingers on his podcast.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
His
Oh, my
countdown.
students all know. Ms. Kramer still uses her fingers.
7 years.
So
Come on,
7 years
everyone.
subbing, but even before that, I was running summer camps since 2007.
Okay. So,
So-
you've
What's that, Baker? 2007, 2019. Come on.
19, 12.
Good. 10 plus 2. Yeah.
I did did 2 and then 10, but yeah.
Oh, I did 10 then too.
No idea what you're saying.
I know, not a math person.
We are chunking up the math equation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, distributive property.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
believe.
I'm bad
Is that
with
right?
property.
I don't
Cool,
remember.
cool,
I think
cool.
it's the distributive. Look at these questions.
I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, your next question. What other grades have you taught?
5, 6, 7, 8. Dun, 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 dun.
What's your favorite been?
Ooh, I really enjoyed 8th grade. Those kids are fun.
Sassy.
Yeah, they're sassy, but they're funny.
I feel like they're more mature though.
They
7th
are.
grade's like-
7th grade's super awkward because they're not the oldest kids and they're not the youngest kids, and so like they're kind of the awkward middle child
Yeah.
in the middle school world. Because 6th graders get a lot of hand holding because they're babies still, and then 8th graders are kind of on the way out. So
And they know what's going on.
and they know what's going on. They got the lay of the land. So 7th grade's super awkward, but 8th graders are hilarious. My former 5th and 6th graders would visit me, and I much preferred them when they were 8th graders.
I loved 8th grade personally when I was in 8th grade.
Yeah, middle school was fun. My middle school was only 7th and 8th grade, so
Oh,
it was just
weird.
2 years. So
Gross.
elementary was up to 6th grade.
Mine was 2, but we also have 6th grade program. So
And then
it
high school was 9
schools.
through 12. So middle school was kind of just like a blip.
Yeah.
And we're done. And we're on to
Right.
high school.
Right.
Yeah, and he grew up in Washington, so
Which is super cool is what I'm told.
yeah, POU, go Lutz.
So you started working... Uh-oh. That is the
That's proof that we're at school.
that is the
the
recess
bell.
bell. Come on
Yeah.
in, everybody. It's time to start learning.
This is actually time for 5th grade
Yeah,
recess
5th
to
grade
end. So
recess.
if this kid comes charging up looking for a snack,
Oh, it's snack
sorry.
time.
Well, this is when we would Baker. This is when we'd stand out of the door with a bag
Yeah,
of
yeah,
fruit
yeah.
or vegetables. Yep.
We could probably find a cucumber underneath the shelf or something.
Oh my gosh, total side note. My kids found the bag of leftover cucumbers in my kinder kitchen. And I was like, thankfully it only been 2 days, but it was like a marker
put 'em
in
away
there.
in
Yeah, I was like, who did
in the
this?
toy
And I know
kitchen.
exactly who did it, but that student was like, it wasn't me. I'm like, I know it was.
So you started working with kids in 2007.
Yes.
What made you want to do that and then get into teaching?
So that's a bit of a tale. I'll try to do the abridged
Well,
version.
good thing we have a microphone to hear.
Yeah, so I started working in summer camp just because I had gone to summer camp as a kid, so it was an easy transition. And then I was a senior in high school, and they had to make the college decisions. And really, I wanted to go to school to be a performer, and it was a shocking revelation. But the even bigger shock was my parents saying, "No, we're not paying for you to go to musical theater college." So I had to get quote unquote a real degree. So I got it in journalism and figured where else could I perform? Radio. So I worked in radio for about 2 years after I finished college. Realized that was trash and I did not enjoy it at all.
Kramer in the morning.
Which would have been awesome. But it's just not, in the long term, I was like, no, this isn't it. So in the meanwhile, I had always been working at summer camp, and my aunt said to me, well, you do summer camp, like, why don't you just start subbing at our school? Because you didn't need to be a fully certified teacher to substitute teach. So I was like, okay, that sounds good. I'll take the money. So I went in and started subbing and was like, oh, I'm actually really good at this and I really enjoy this. So I'm going to just do this. And went back to school and got my master's and got certified.
Boom. And now she's here in our presence.
Gracing you with my presence. What a gift.
What a something.
What about when you were younger? What did you like about school?
I loved English and reading and writing and all that jazz. That was my favorite thing. It still is my favorite thing. I read like 2 to 3 books at a time still. I just picked up another one from the library. It's super great. And I just loved, like, I did all the drama stuff in school too, music classes. Those were all my favorite things. Math was easily my least favorite. That's not a secret. And science was okay. But if I had to rank them, it would be like English and then social studies and then all the other fun stuff.
So I want to talk about math because as many know, but many might not, I was working on my teaching degree, finishing that in first semester. So I taught Ms Kramer's math class, and it was actually Mr. Baker's math class for about a semester, almost a semester.
It was.
So Ms. Kramer likes to make what?
Okay, keep going. Yep. I'm listening. I'm just listening.
Let me
I'm
ask the
listening.
question.
Okay.
This is what
This
we
is
do.
off
Miss
script,
Lee.
y'all, so I'm a little confused.
It's not off script. I'm
Okay,
just
keep going. Okay, keep going.
phrasing it differently
Okay.
than you thought.
Oh, okay.
boy.
I'm patiently just listening.
Patiently waving her hands to tell me to hurry up. So, how has, because you're not shy about the fact that math is not your
No,
strongest subject.
Not even a little bit.
How has that impacted your life?
How's math impacted my
How
life?
is
Or like that fact that I'm
Struggling
not good
with
at math?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would say it's a positive thing in that, like, I've proven to myself time and again that I can figure it out. I think so many times we get caught up in, like, oh, I need to be able to do this because everybody around me can do this. But, like, the reality is, like, nobody really cares what the other person's doing. You just got to kind of do you. And if it takes you a little bit longer to solve something, then, like, so be it. And getting over that is kind of more important, I think, than, like, the actual math part. Because, like, you're going to figure it out if you have to. Like, every locked door has a key, right? You just got to figure it out. And so that has been like oh, okay. I can do it. Like, it's fine. I
Yeah.
still need my fingers, but, like,
But
who
you
cares?
You can do it.
Right.
So I will say, last year I shared a portable with Ms Kramer. And
It was the best year of his life, guys. It was great.
Not her life, his life.
Great. But I did not teach her math class last year, and her 5th graders still learn math. So
Yeah, they bumped up 11% in math.
nice.
Boom.
So you can figure it out
Yeah.
if you keep trying, persevere.
Well, and that's been, like, great as, like, as a teacher, like, to show them that, like, I'm an adult and I still don't get it. I mean, I'm better at it now because this is my second year doing
Yeah.
it, but, like,
Last year I was teaching Ms Kramer some math sometimes.
yeah, I would come in and be like, what does this mean?
And I would tell her.
Spoiler alert.
Our next question is a little more serious.
Oh, man.
I know, about growing up. Did you ever face issues like bullying growing up?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Serious,
God, are
Kramer?
you
kidding? I'm a fat kid with curly hair. Of course I was a victim of bullying. What are you, crazy? Her name was Angela and she stole my bike.
No.
No, yeah, that was legit. Her name was Angela and she stole my bike and my brother chased her down, Philly style, and I got my bike back. And then we got back to school and
How
she
old were
tried,
you when that happened?
that was 6th grade. So then in 6th grade, after the bike incident, we were in class and she, like, tried to mess with my uniform because this was Catholic school, and I went to tell my teacher, and she got detention for like a month.
Isn't that crazy how you just
It
remember
is.
everything so
Yeah,
clearly?
vividly.
My mom completely remembers like what the girl looked like, what her full name
Oh yeah,
was.
it's traumatizing.
I
It can be
know.
super traumatizing. And it wasn't just Angela; she was just the most vocal because she was Angela. God.
So your brother chased her down to
Yeah.
get your bike back.
So we
what
were-
were you doing? Not in this case, but like in
So
general. what
he
did
like
you
threw
do?
his bike at me so he could go chase her down, and I was kind of like, you know, when like a train's coming, you can't move because you're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? It was one of those situations.
Yeah.
And he just like his switch flipped, and he went and he took her down,
You got the bike.
and
back.
we got the bike back.
So what was like in general?
What'd you do?
Like-
Like, at school? if she was
Like when
fighting
you were getting bullied by her or anybody, like what
Oh.
was? How did that make school?
Yeah,
like, what was
so I didn't really care. There was one girl in particular. So there was Angela, but then she left. And then I had Laura. And Laura I had for years. And Laura would come up to me and she would try and say things to like try and rattle my cage. She'd be like, I was talking to so-and-so and they said that you have rats on your front yard. And I would just look at her and be like, okay. She'd be like,
Yes, I do.
Right. Like it did not faze me at all. I would like blink at her like, all right, blink, blink, blink. Like, what else?
Now what?
But yeah, like, all right.
Is that our conversation? Okay.
Yeah. I had one kid, Brian, and he thought it would be super funny to take a thumbtack and like we got so in Philly we have soft pretzels, like famous for them. So that was like a snack that you could buy every day for a quarter.
Spoiler alert: everyone has soft pretzels. Continue.
Stop. You don't even know. So Brian thought it would be super fun to take a push pin and like stick it in the soft pretzel. I don't think he realized it was mine. It just happened. Like Brian was kind of an idiot, and he would just like do stupid stuff. And so like that kind of stuff would happen. I mean, I'm an adult and I still remember Brian putting a push pin in the pretzel. It just didn't, I never saw it as like a personal, like they're trying to come get me. I saw Angela as like, oh, she's trying to get me. But the other stuff, I was just like, okay, rats in the yard, cool. Like, I got other things to do.
Because it was just nonsense. sense.
Right. And like, I didn't really notice anything as a younger kid. Like, all of these stories happened like 6th grade and up. So like, as a younger kid, like, it was just like not a thing. I had my friends, we did our thing. A big thing was always drama and music. Like, I just kind of was headfirst into that. I always had my head in the book anyway. So if anything was going on, I didn't notice.
Drama and music. What else did you do for fun as a kid?
Yeah, as a kid.
Reading, drama, music.
Sounds like you
That's
right
pretty-
now.
You're in, in your element.
So my grandmother actually founded our church choir. So as a kid, that was like the weekends, like you were up in the church loft with my mom with a bag of Cheerios, hanging out. And
So
then
you weren't
eventually,
talking, you're eating Cheerios
yeah, you
instead
would just
of
have
talking.
Cheerios. If you were talking, you were getting the shoe, because she would like shake it at you. She had 8 kids, and so there's like 30 some cousins, so she knew what to do when you were getting out of line. But yeah, that was always, weekends were always doing something with music. I've been in plays since the 3rd grade, doing my thing, and then reading books like crazy.
Nice. So what
This
do you
is what she does now, by the way.
Yeah,
Well,
not
it's
much has
not
changed.
much has changed.
pretty much doing the same thing?
Oh, well, now I watch a lot more reality television.
Perfect. This is our next question. It's what do you like to do for fun now as an adult?
Okay, so weeknights, I'll just stick with entertainment for right now. I come home and I watch The Real Housewives and any show on Bravo, because
Which one?
if I had to rank them, I would put Real Housewives of New York at the top, just because I
Jersey.
know where they're all at. Like, I would go to New York at least once a month when I was on the East Coast.
Oh, so you recognize the location.
Yeah, so I'd be like, oh yeah, they went there. That stinks. Like, well, I don't know why they went to that restaurant. Like, that restaurant's trash. But it's just like a fun kind of guilty pleasure type deal. But generally, after school, I go to the gym every single day, and throw heavy weights and lift things up and put them down and try to do a push-up. It's crazy. I can deadlift 175 pounds, but I can't do a push-up.
Push-ups are hard.
They are hard. It's crazy.
It is hard.
Ugh.
I can attest for her dedication, because at our meetings last year, she would
Oh,
say, let's
just-
wrap this up, guys. It's gym night.
I gotta go. Sorry.
I love it.
So I think we are into our rapid fire.
Yes! I
That
can't wait.
sounds so bad on the
Oh,
microphone.
sorry, but it's my
Gosh.
favorite part.
I can't wait to see what these are.
All right, should I take the first one?
Sure.
Okay, the first question, you're gonna be like, what? What are your thoughts on this? Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No,
No.
You were very quick. Why do you think that?
because a sandwich is a hoagie.
would
Lunch
not
meat,
have ex-
cheese, mayo, a little bit of oil,
I've
lettuce,
never even-
tomato, pickle, done.
What defines a sandwich?
Oh, I just did.
So it has to be vegetables? Okay, but I'm saying vegetables and meat.
Yeah, that's because like I feel like a
So, hot
PB&J.
dog.
No, not a
Hot dog.
sandwich.
Vegetables, you can put
Nope.
onions,
Nope.
relish,
No, ma'am.
meat,
It's in a different
hot
world,
dog.
different category. Just like PB&J, different category.
Okay,
There are
what-
categories.
Oh, see, that's weird.
What is a
That you don't think a
PB&J?
PB&J is a sandwich? You just think it's a PB&J.
So when you say the word sandwich, I think hoagie.
Okay, I don't even use
And
that.
is that like
I don't
bread or like
even
a
use
hoagie
that
roll?
term.
Bread.
Like a baguette.
I mean,
Or
it could be-
Sliced bread? Or...
I would
Either.
think baguette.
Oh my god.
Or if you're from Philly, a good Amoroso roll. That's how you do it.
So
I don't even
fancy.
know that term.
What, a hoagie?
Hoagie.
Yeah.
I thought a hoagie was a specific type of like sandwich.
That's
No, it
alignment.
could be any.
Like the hoagie, you know, the roll. Like,
No, you gotta get some good hoagie oil on it, though. You
I
know
don't
what
know
that
what
is?
you're talking about.
It's like olive oil with like all the herbs and seasonings in it.
Have
and
you
it's in a
been
little
to
bottle.
Jersey Mike's? Is it like
No,
that?
I refuse.
But that's kind of like a hoagie because they put
I
the.
bet
They're
it
like,
has
you
something
want
to
it
do with
Mike's
Jersey.
way? Yeah.
I bet you,
Or
Nope.
you
they're
hate
like, you want
Jersey,
it Mike's
don't you?
way?
I do. Jersey is the armpit of America.
Oh shoot.
Wow.
Harsh. All right,
So,
next question.
Well, if it weren't for the Eagles, which team would you root for?
Who? Are we talking NFL?
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
start with NFL.
And then we'll move
Can't
on.
root for the Eagles?
No. Pretend
What?
the Eagles go bankrupt and they don't exist anymore.
Easy.
Oh.
LA Chargers.
Stop.
R.I.P. San Diego.
Oh gosh. I don't know.
The Chiefs.
No. The only reason I rooted for the Chiefs was because of Andy Reid, because he was a former Eagles coach. That was the only reason I cared about the Chiefs. Now they got Patrick Mahomes, who kind of sounds like Kermit the Frog, which I'll... if you're twisting my arm, I'll go
He's
for the
baller.
Chiefs.
He's so
Okay.
good.
But the Chiefs is a similar relationship to the Eagles,
What
and that
would
they
you
get
do?
so close and they can't
Who do
pull it
you root
off.
for?
If I didn't
Not
vote,
the
if I
Seahawks.
didn't root
It
for the
couldn't be the
Eagles, I would root for the Seahawks.
Get
no,
outta here.
if it weren't for the Seahawks.
My second favorite team is the Green Bay Packers because
You
well,
cheesehead?
No, well, we had Mike Holmgren came from there, and we had Matt Hasselbeck. So like when I was around that time, like Brett Favre,
Oh, I know that
Others.
name.
Favre is old.
others, I don't know, but
Are you an Aaron Rodgers fan? Ding!
I do like
That gets
Aaron
plus
Rodgers,
1 point for
actually.
her football knowledge.
It's you.
so
Beth,
if you
I
didn't
mean,
root
Miss
for,
Lee.
that's fine. They know your name. So probably Green Bay because a lot of our and back when I was in high school in my formative years, like a lot of our people started in Green Bay, and then when they became head coaches and stuff.
One of their players came from my alma mater, Shippensburg University, and his name is John Kuhn, and I think he's retiring this year.
Oh, you
Guess
should go
what
throw 'em a party.
team? Guess what team
I
I
will
would
not
root
go.
for if it weren't for the LA Chargers.
The Eagles,
No,
the Raiders.
no,
Cowboys.
no,
No. I don't know. The Seahawks?
no.
Calgary Stampede. CFL.
The Lutes.
Go Lutes! No, mine would for sure be the Saints.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
They're so
because-
salty.
Why do you think? Drew Brees,
I do
holla.
like Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is awesome.
Drew Brees is fine.
He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Excuse me, can I use this machine?" And I said, "Yeah, of course."
Oh,
When
is
I
this
was
your
in high
sports
school.
stories?
Yeah. He worked out at the same gym in the summers as I did.
Oh my god, you're so cool.
Yeah, it was so cool. I was like, Drew Brees, you're so nice. Yeah, you can use this.
Oh my gosh.
I do have experience with the team no longer being there also because the Sonics were here.
Oh, for goodness
And then
sake.
they left, and I just stopped watching basketball. So that's probably what I would do if the Seahawks left. I would just give up.
That's
If
a good
you could have dinner
message.
with, if you could have dinner with anyone from history, why would you choose that person?
Oh
Who
man.
would
Like
it be
that
and why?
question, I
Yeah,
knew you'd be
Miss
interested. I came up
Lee.
with that.
Oh gosh. Okay, so from anybody, are we talking like dead historical person?
Yeah, we're alive.
We're
Anyone.
gonna
Just
pretend
anyone.
that the person is alive while you're eating with them. So
Well,
it's not awkward.
right. I'm not that
Anyone.
macabre.
Could be
Um,
dead or alive.
Oh, for
Anyone in
goodness
history.
golly.
I don't know who she would pick. I'm really interested in this question, actually.
And it has to be like we're talking like historical, like
No,
they,
like anyone.
Who's
in the
someone
world.
from history that has been alive that you say,
Like, it could be
I
your
want to
great
eat lunch with that
grandpa
person?
for all we.
Oh, I mean, like, I would love to get dinner with my grandfather. I never met him.
Oh,
He died in a chemical dryer explosion before I was my parents were even married. So it's one of the coolest stories, but also one of the most tragic stories I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And I just think it's like, I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. Because his company was doing, they were drying cereal grains. And they were testing out this new dryer, and he went to go check on it, and it exploded, and the door of the dryer hit him in the chest, and he died on impact. And I was like, well, that's fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah, so I would love to get dinner with him, but like,
So how about a historical person?
yeah, whew, boy. See, this should have been an
need some
email
think time?
question. I
He's
mean,
available.
We got
We'll think.
Napoleon.
no.
Benedict Arnold.
No.
We have- I don't know. I'm just naming people. You need help.
Mine
William
would
the
be
Conqueror.
like-
See, like when I think
Share. It could
so
be
like
anybody.
okay, and so it's interesting. Like for me, when I hear historical, my default thought is like figures from the American Revolution, and I think that comes from the fact that like I'm from Philadelphia, where we're like inundated with
Because that's what happened.
because that's where it happened. So like for me, like we would have a day off of school and we could just casually walk over to Ben Franklin's grave. And like
Ben Franklin.
just visit. So like my default is like, oh, somebody from the Revolution. Oh, Ben Franklin, because he was the coolest one. I can think more about it later. But like then I like stop and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Like the Revolution's not the only historical thing that happened. See, Philadelphians tend to kind of just focus in on ourselves. We're very self-centered people. I could not even tell you other counties in the state of Pennsylvania. All I know is that there's Philadelphia County. That's it. I'm aware that other ones exist, but I don't know what they are.
So think of your favorite person from
So
would you do?
non-revolutionary
We'll give her
war
some think
person.
time.
Okay.
I
let's
have
see.
mine.
Who would I do? I think Wilbur and Charles Wright would be
Really?
because I'm fascinated with aviation.
Oh yeah, that was his,
And
his
yeah,
interview.
I've
You
watched
should
even
listen
more
to that
videos
one.
since our last podcast. I'm
He's like,
getting,
that's my hobby. I'm getting a plane.
I'm getting really into it. Remote control.
remote. Then he clarified with me. I was like,
Are you getting like a
But-
drone?
No, like a model airplane that they fly it around.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's one of his hobbies I didn't know about.
Wow.
I know.
Well,
You know
it's-
who mine would be? Because
Tell
I
me.
did almost every single report ever on her, like growing up, like every report. Rosa Parks. I love that one. Rosa Parks and the Montgomery bus boycott.
There's a great Doctor Who episode starring Rosa Parks that you should check out.
There's actually a lot of people I would want to have dinner with, but she's like the one I just think of.
Right. Oh, gosh. I don't know. I feel like it should be a theatrical person, but they're all still either alive or I don't
Okay,
know.
They
alive.
could
We can be
alive.
alive.
We can
Be
call
alive.
them up and get them out here.
Yeah.
Oh,
We can make your
goodness.
dream come true. Here,
Yeah.
a new segment on the podcast. Fulfill everyone's dreams.
Well, I've already met Orlando Bloom.
Okay. Did you have lunch with him yet?
No,
Perfect.
we awkwardly hugged because I kind of made him.
Oh my.
But it was fine. It was totally.
Crazy
It was
fangirl.
fine. Oh, complete fangirl. Couldn't even speak for like hours after. It was ridiculous. So I don't know if I get dinner with him though because he's gotten weird. But man, gosh, I don't know.
It would probably be like what team are we talking about? Football.
The Eagles.
The Eagles. Sorry.
No, I don't want dinner with any of them. I just want to watch him play.
Nick
Oh,
Foles. What?
He is no longer an Eagle.
Well,
He's with
Okay, you can think about
Never
that. We'll
mind.
go
I'll
to the
think
next.
about it.
We'll go to the
Okay.
next question.
which this is going to be really hard because I know Ms Kramer struggles with this a lot.
What's your most embarrassing moment? And this could be at school.
Just like in the last 2 years.
Anytime, because I can think of. Do you have an embarrassing moment? I can think of one of mine.
I can't think of one right now.
It's really hard to think on the spot, but
I don't think I have one.
you just don't get embarrassed.
No.
That's why I said it was going to be hard. I know.
You really? Okay, I usually don't get embarrassed.
Okay,
either,
so
but-
when I hear this, because I've gotten this question before, just in teaching, kids ask you these kind of things, and the one story that I think of is it was in high school, and we were in the computer lab, and I had gone to like stand up, and the way the lab was, it was like rows of tables, and then there was a center aisle that you could walk down. And so I had gotten up from my seat, and the back of my shoe had caught on the wheelie chair wheel. And so I like went to stand up, and my shoe was caught. And so I just like, boom, like just fell, like ate it, like just like flat out on the middle of the floor. And everybody kind of stops, and they like look over to see like, oh, is she okay? And I remember standing up and like flailing my arms out like a dancer. It was totally planned. It was like, hey, I'm fine. Like, no worries. I meant to do that. How are you? Like, just like sauntered down the
But
hallway
you weren't embarrassed.
for like maybe 5 seconds. Like, it was initial like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that.
Until you turned it into a show.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much.
I love it.
Nice.
I would love to hear Baker's most embarrassing story. But you don't. You can't
I
think
don't
of
know. I don't really get embarrassed either. I'm just kind of like,
one. Okay.
okay.
Yeah, it's not a thing. Because, like, I think because I've learned to be so self-assured and, like, set in what I'm doing that, like, if other people... Because I feel like when you're embarrassed, it's because you're worried about what other people...
Yeah.
How other people view that situation. And, like, I get there are scenarios that, like, no matter what you do, it's going to be embarrassing. I had a student once that on his very first day of school, he puked.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And it wasn't his fault. And, like, everyone was like, oh, my gosh, it's so embarrassing. And, like, he felt embarrassed about it. And, like, I get it. But it's just...
Everyone pukes.
Right. Like, you just have to not be so concerned with what other people think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't really have an embarrassing
Because you gotta be
moment.
yourself, right?
Just be yourself. That's why we called the podcast Be
Heck
Yourself.
yeah.
It's like, be me, and then if you don't like it, well...
Ooh, I know who I'd have dinner with.
Okay.
Brie Larson.
I should have guessed. How do I? Does she like
Do you
Captain
know who
Marvel?
she is, Mr.
Who
Baker?
is Brie Larson?
Brie Larson is Captain Marvel. She is Captain Marvel in the new Marvel movie. She plays Carol Danvers, and she's the best. She's bomb.com. And if you don't know about her, check her out. She's pretty great.
All right.
Pretty great.
Well, on that note, that's the end of our questioning, and Miss Lee is starting to eat some candy.
Why you gotta out me like that?
Why you
'Cause-
gotta be so rude?
Oh yeah, by the way, we're part of a band, a school band.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yes.
let's
Oh,
promote
you know what?
that. Let's
We're
promote
gonna
that.
start doing morning concerts. So we need to pick some songs
Yes.
and then practice them or not, and then start playing them at breakfast.
Yes.
So that is going to start happening soon because
Yeah.
we are committed to it now that we told you about it.
It's so interesting when we try and pick songs because Mr. Baker has kids and we do not. And so Mr. Baker knows all this.
Come back home, my little chick. I won't
Yeah.
come.
He knows all the like younger kid songs and I
Like,
do not.
Let's play some Kanye.
Yeah.
So we will.
We'll figure
meet
it out.
in the middle. We will meet in the middle, and
We'll be in the middle like Destiny's Child.
I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up.
We've been doing. I've been listening to a lot of Mariah Carey at home.
Wow.
Who's singing this?
You will always be a part of me.
Actually, I would sing All I Want for Christmas.
That's a great
There you
jam.
I would
That's
sing
great.
that one.
That's a great jam.
Too bad we didn't do this podcast 4 months ago.
Wow, wow.
But anyways, be on the lookout for our cool school band.
Is that the name?
Our cool school band. I like
That would
it.
be cool. Honestly, it's cool. Rhymes.
History's being made, guys.
This
I
is,
like
This
it.
is it. They say, how'd you come up with your name? Like, listen to the podcast.
Cool
You'll
school
find
band.
out.
You know, honestly, I'd like to thank Mr. Baker right now because he has made me check off 2 things off my bucket list.
Wow.
Be the lead singer of
You're
a
not,
band,
but okay, keep going.
the co-lead singer, the
Okay.
backup singer,
There you go.
As long as none of our former
And-
students walk up.
and to have a podcast. I've always wanted a podcast.
There you go.
So
Here it is.
two-
I'm digging it.
Ding.
I'm digging it.
I'm
I'm
here,
here
to
for
help.
it.
That's
I know.
why I'm here.
I'm here for all of it.
So we got to wrap it up because we have other conferences to get to.
Yep.
And
Yep. 6
So-
minutes.
So thank you, Ms. Kramer, for being our
Thanks
third
for
You,
coming in.
guest.
you are the most welcome. Actually, I think I'm the first guest because your first 2 guests were each other.
Miss Lee was the first guest.
Wow.
So
Wow.
Pretty
thank you
special.
for being our first outside hire.
You are so welcome. I'm here all week. If you need me I'm in limited engagement tour right now. No.
Okay, where can we find you, Ms. Kramer?
In Renton.
Okay.
And then you can find Mr. Baker at PLU.
Go Lutz.
Go. Okay, anyways, we gotta end this because this is
It's over half an
over
hour.
our
It's
time.
time to go. It's time to go.
Time for a
meet
commercial.
our new
it's
students.
time for
Ooh.
a cool school commercial.
Okay.
Should we do commercials?
signing.
Brought to you by the Cool School Band of Panther Lake Elementary in
Bye,
Federal Way,
everyone.
Washington.
Look
Bye.
out for
See you never.
episode
Just
4.
kidding.
See you later.
Alligator.
Oh,
Oh,
we don't
gosh.
have it scheduled yet. So
No.
look out for episode 4 for who will be in episode 4.
Yay.
Yay, goodbye.
Later.